Hey guys, welcome back to our place. I am in the middle of a potato reset challenge, and today's video we are going to cover what I got up to during days 4 through to 7. So if you haven't been following along already, I will leave a link down below to my earlier videos. I'll just explain what I'm doing on the potato reset challenge, and you can of course catch the first half of this week. But just a real quick recap: I'm eating potatoes and veggies for hopefully 10 days just to kick all of the ultra processed foods that have been creeping back into my diet. I'm going to kick them to the curb. I just want to reset my gut microbiome, lose that bloat that I've got going on at the moment, maybe drop a couple of kilos that have snuck on while I've been having just too much junk in my diet, and also reset my taste buds, getting back to basics with my food so that I can actually enjoy food because it tastes like the food that it is, rather than highly processed, highly, what's the word that they use when you just can't stop eating it because it just tastes so good? Anyways, yes, want to get rid of all of that and just get back to the good stuff. So I've been curious about doing a potato reset challenge for a while. I've seen a bunch of different people do it, and I thought, you know what? Now is a pretty good reason to just give it a go and see what happens. So I'm halfway through. This video is going to cover days 4 through to 7. I am showing you every single thing that I eat and the recipes that I'm making, and giving you a few thoughts along the way. So why don't we jump back in time? We'll head back to breakfast for day 4 and we'll take it from there. Breakfast this morning for Friday, day 5. I'm going to have some of this leftover potato and broccoli bake that I made yesterday, and I'm going to heat this up in the microwave, and then I think I'm just going to chuck some fresh cherry tomatoes on top, probably quite a few. I'm thinking cold and crunchy, warm and gooey should be a pretty nice combo this morning. I don't know if I'm going to add anything else. See how we go. There we go, final product. I have put a little bit of nooch on top of that as well. I'm just going to eat it out of the container that I heated it up in because I'm not particularly fancy, but I'll show you guys this bit of a scoop because it does look a bit different. Oh, so yep, there we go. Delicious. For lunch today, I'm going to take half or maybe 3/4 of the leftover mashed potato from last night. I'm going to mix in some Tuscan herbs and some nutritional yeast, and I'm going to turn them into little potato bites, which should be pretty exciting. I'll probably have some steamed veggies on the side, but this is going to be the main potato star of our meal. So I don't know, we'll see how we go with this one. I haven't actually done this before. This is new to me, so we're going to go by feel and by taste and try and make some little potato bites. So just real quick, I've got 2 teaspoons of the Tuscan seasoning and 2 tablespoons of my nooch here in my bowl. I'm going to get this mixed together before I try and put in a little bit more of the potato, but I think my bowl's going to end up a bit too full to try and mix everything. So I'm going to start with this. I'm going to get it mixed together into probably try and get it into some balls, and then I think I'm going to stick it back in the fridge or maybe the freezer and just chill it back down again before I stick it in the air fryer. Here's my second plate. Actually, the first plate is already in the fridge chilling. I'm just going to pop them in the fridge for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, let them cool back down again because I have been handling them. They've warmed up a little bit. I want them nice and cold, and I'm going to pop them straight into a hot air fryer until they're crispy on the outside. And there we go. So, interesting concept. Maybe be better in the oven or in an air fryer that's got shelves, not in a basket. I had a bit of trouble getting mine out, as you can see. They're a bit squished, but smells amazing, and I did taste a little bit and it tastes amazing, so it should be good. Served it on the leftover pasta sauce that I made the other day. Might top it with a little bit of nooch, and that is lunch. We are heading out this afternoon, so I want to get something going for dinner that I can have ready when we get back. So I'm going to use my pressure cooker, and I'm just going to do a country style potato stew. So mostly potatoes, obviously. I'm going to throw in some other veggies. I've got half a bag of peas, or not even, quarter of a bag of peas I'm going to throw in there. Some celery, some onion, some garlic. I've got a zucchini that probably needs using, my last carrot, and basically what I'm going to do is get this going, throw in some Italian herbs as well. This is all going to cook just in water because I don't have my veggie broth organized yet, but if you had homemade veggie broth you could use that as well. But this is all going to cook, but to turn it into like a creamy sort of stew instead of a watery soup, what I'm going to do right before serving is I'm going to mix through some, if not all, of the cheese sauce that I made the other day. That doesn't taste cheesy, but it is also loaded with veggies. So in here we've got cauliflower, potato, carrots, and a bunch of spices. So this is going to make it nice and creamy, and then we're going to have lots of veggie goodness just to bulk it out. I've just got everything chopped up here just into bite-sized pieces. I've got my onion and celery in here, and all I'm going to do for this one, pretty simple. I'm going to start by putting this onto the saute mode, which will get it hot to start off with. I'm just going to fry off my onion and my celery and my garlic, and then once those are nice and browned, I'll go ahead and just dump the rest of these veggies in, and that's pretty much going to be it. Once all of our veggies are in, I'm just going to go ahead and cover this with water. Give it a bit of a stir and mix around. I've also just popped in a tablespoon of the Italian herbs. You could really just use whatever you've got at home and whatever you like. Again, I'm just going to mix that through. I'm going to pop the lid on this and just chuck it on the soup setting and let the pressure cooker do all the work and all the magic. So it's just going to cook away. Even if it's finished early, it'll just go onto a hold or a heating setting, and then when we come back, all I need to do is go ahead and mix through the sauce, the cheese sauce, to thicken it up. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the soup setting, hit start, and that is it for now. There we go, our soup has finished its cook, but as you can see it's still quite watery. So all I'm going to do now that these veggies have finished cooking is going to dump in the cheese sauce that I made the other day. I will need 2 hands for this one, but give me a second. There we go, and I'm just going to mix this through. That potato will sort of mash down a little bit as well. That'll help thicken it up. Pop the lid back on, and then this can just stay until we are ready for dinner when we get back. And here we go. So this has made heaps. I'll be able to put some of this in the freezer, which is fantastic. So this is what we're going to have for dinner tonight. I do have 3 little bowls here, and I've just cooked up some bread that was in the freezer for the other guys to have. Come back and have seconds if anybody is still hungry. This is beautiful and thick and creamy. If it is a little bit runny and you want to thicken it up a little bit, stick some mashed potato in there and it'll thicken up lovely. Also, if you're not actually doing a potato reset challenge, you could go ahead and add some creamed corn or something like that in there as well. Really, whatever you have in the fridge that needs to be used up. But there's 3 bowls, and I still have heaps left in here. So this has made a huge big pot of food. I'll definitely be able to get some soups in the freezer, and I'll have a couple of meals ready to go later on down the track. Good morning. It is day 6, the beginning of day 6, and today I'm actually feeling a little bit under the weather, and I don't think it's got anything to do with the potato reset diet or the Mary's Mini. A few people around us are a little bit crook, and I hope that I'm not picking that up, but I'm just not feeling 100% this morning. So I am starting the day with 2 cups of tea, and breakfast I think will just be some leftover mashed potato, and I have a little bit of the mashed potato gravy. So after I have my second cup of tea, I'll probably go and heat that up, and we'll see how today goes. But it might be a bit of a bland and boring kind of day, I'm not sure. All right, you guys, so it is almost 10:15, and I'm starting to get a bit peckish, so I'm going to go ahead and heat these up in the microwave, and this is just going to be my brunch for today. And I'm actually starting to wonder how much I'm actually going to eat, so I don't know, we'll see how this goes down and what the rest of the day brings. For lunch today, I think I'm just going to pull together a little salad. I have a couple of pre-cooked sweet potatoes here that I made up the other day, so I'm going to dice those up and make a cold fresh salad. So I've got some leftover baby spinach, I'm going to throw some of that in, a bit of cucumber, a bit of red caps, some tomatoes, and I have some pickled onions in the fridge, and I think I'm just going to mix that together and do a bit of a fresh salad for lunch. Alright guys, this is dinner tonight, and this is so quick and easy. I've just got a baked potato which I microwaved first, and then I stuck it in the air fryer so it's nice and crispy on the outside. I've just cut it in half. I've sprinkled a little bit of garlic salt and some nutritional yeast over the top, and then I've just got a whole bunch of veggies which I've also partially cooked in the frying pan, but then I finished off in the air fryer. So I've got green beans, Brussels sprouts, and some cauliflower. I've cooked those off in just a little bit of soy sauce and some nutritional yeast as well when they went into the air fryer. So this is just baked potatoes and cheesy greens. This is what we call it. This is my bowl. The other guys have already taken theirs. They've got a few additional extras to their meals because, like I've been saying, they're not doing the restrictive diet like I am. So they've got some sauces and condiments and nuts and seeds and all those sorts of good fun stuff on top. But this is my dinner for tonight, and this smells absolutely amazing. Breakfast for day 7 is going to be another potato skillet, very similar to the one that I did way back on day 1. I'm just going to use up a variety of different ingredients. So I do have a bunch of pre-cooked potatoes. I microwaved these last night, stuck them in the fridge so they're cooked, cooled, and ready to go. I'm going to chuck those in the frying pan with a bunch of other veggies. So I do have some more mushrooms. I'll use up a few of those, some cherry tomatoes, some red caps. Being quite lazy, and I'm just going to throw in some pickled onions instead of dicing up a fresh one, and I'm going to try and use up the last of our spinach because it is looking a little bit on its last legs. Might go through and just pick out any that look really yucky, but we're going to cook it, so I think that'll be fine. So there we go, breakfast for this morning, and hopefully I'll get some leftovers for tomorrow as well. So in my pan here at the moment, I have fried off our mushrooms. I did that first, just so that I can go and get those nice and toasty. That's just how we like them. And then I've also popped in the red capsicum and some of the pickled onions. Gave those just a few minutes before I've just dumped in the potatoes now. There's no oil in this one, so just keep moving it. I'm on a non-stick pan. And if need be, I just add the tiniest little bit of water to the bottom and just try and get up that browning that you can see there on the bottom of the pan. So let's see if we can just do a quick demo for you guys so that you can see. I've got a tiny bit of water in there. That'll sizzle. And that goes nice and brown. That is where you get all your colorings from. That's what caramelizes everything. So we just keep moving that through all of our veggies that are in the pan. They'll just keep cooking off and we'll just keep building it up as we go. And there we go. So I have just sprinkled this with a little bit of garlic salt and my nutritional yeast. Just pop that on top and giving it another mix through. But that is breakfast for today at least. We'll see how far it goes. All right, today is day 7 and we went out for lunch today and I did not eat potato reset challenge, Mary's mini. I had some pizza and some garlic bread and I wanted to talk to you guys about something. I am not upset about this. This is the 3rd time now, technically, I've gone off book. First time, the very first night, I did have 2 pieces of chocolate. Not upset about it. Moved on. The other night, which I don't think I spoke to you guys about either, I actually made my very, very first loaf of sourdough. Super excited about it. I was given some starter. It's been sitting in my fridge. If you guys have been following along for a little while, you know I've been dabbling in bread making in the caravan. So I've had some starter there and I needed to feed it. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it. Had a go at making some focaccia in the end and it turned out fabulously. So you know what I did? I tried a piece of my very first sourdough focaccia and it was awesome and I loved it and it was great. But I just kept going with the potato reset challenge. My theory is I don't need to be perfect every single step of the way. I just need to do the best that I can, follow the rules that I can for the majority of the time. The majority is what's going to move the needle. And yes, 3 times now I've gone off book. Is it the perfect way to do a potato reset challenge? Of course not. Have I broken the rules? Sure, yeah, I have. I could neglect to talk to you guys about those sort of things. I could just skip over it and pretend that I did it perfectly. But the reality is, I think that most people, when they attempt to do something like this, are going to have moments where things are not 100% perfect and by the book. That is certainly my experience anyways. But the bigger thing for me is that I have committed to doing this the best that I can. I'm not going to kill myself over trying to make it perfect, and I'm certainly not going to miss out on an opportunity. So we went out with a big group of friends. We had a great time. I did eat some stuff before I left, and I had a piece of margarita pizza and a bit of garlic bread, and I had a mango smoothie because we went to the mango place and there was all sorts of mango things. Oh, and I had a wine tasting paddle because I did mango wines. So yeah, I had a fair bit of stuff that was not within the rules. But I'm also not going to miss out on experiences as we are traveling around Australia just trying to make some sort of crash diet like this work, because for want of a better term, that kind of is what it is. I don't eat potato reset or Mary's mini all day, every day with nothing else. This is just something that I wanted to do, and I wanted to see if I could do it for a week. 10 days would be like amazing. And I'm now on day 7 and I'm feeling pretty good. And I am more than happy to do another 3 days of potato reset challenge. And even if I bargained with myself a little bit and said, okay, well, you've had a couple of naughty bites here and there, so maybe even do it another day just to make up for it. At the end of the day, it's not going to make that much of a difference, because I honestly think like 98% of the time I have followed the rules, and that is what's going to move the needle for me. Not, you know, these couple of little bites and nibbles that I've had that have been off book is not going to undo all of the really awesome work that I've done for the entire week. So that is my story about lunch. It is a little bit long-winded, but I think it's important just to say that the end of the day, you will have people who you'll watch on YouTube and they will do a potato reset challenge and they will do it perfectly, or they will tell you that they have done it perfectly. And if they have, kudos to them. Awesome. I hope they had a great time doing it, and yeah, that's fabulous for them. I've also done a potato reset challenge and I've had a great time doing it, and I've had a couple of nibbles here and there that weren't part of the challenge, and I don't think that that is enough to say that I have failed or that I can't continue on. I can't just pick up and just keep moving along like it didn't happen, because it's what I'm going to do. And I think that the results that I'm seeing so far, heads up, I am obviously going to share all of this with you on day 10, but so far very happy. So I've got nothing to complain about, and I'm having a great time doing it, which is probably more important to me because it means that I'm going to continue with it and continue to see the results that I've got, because I'm happy to stick with it because I'm happy. So there you go. Quite happy at this point. Dinner tonight, I'm going to do wedges, and I'm going to cook up like a cooked salsa. It's not a traditional salsa. I don't have all the ingredients for that. And I'm going to add in some cooked capsicum. So capsicum, onion, probably a little bit of garlic, which I forgot to grab out. I'm going to chuck in a tin of diced tomatoes, probably a few jalapenos for a little bit of heat. I will whack in a little bit of taco seasoning as well. I'm going to cook this off, and then I'm going to chuck these guys here in the air fryer and just turn them into wedges, and then we're going to dip the wedges in the salsa thing that I'm cooking here. The other thing that I've got going on is just fresh out of the air fryer is a bunch more sweet potatoes. I'm going to stick these in the fridge and cool them down, and I will turn these into another batch of the sweet potato chocolate mousse pudding thing that I made way back, day 2, I think, maybe. Anyways, it'll be my last video. That was amazing, so I'm going to make another big batch of that. So I've got some chopping to get going here, and then I will show you once it's all pulled together. Just cooking off the onions and the capsicums. I'm going to let these have quite a good cook. I want them to sort of char a little bit, so I'll just let these guys go in here together. Again, using no oil, so if it does start to dry out in the pan a little bit, even though it is a non-stick pan, I will add a little bit of water just to get those sugars off the bottom of the pan, and that's where you get your nice browning caramelization colors from. All right, tomatoes and garlic and seasonings are in now, and I'm just going to let this simmer away, let those flavors develop for a little bit, and that's pretty much it. The only thing I haven't put in yet is the jalapenos. I think what I will do is just chop those up, and Shannon and I can just add the amount that we want on top when we go to dish up. But there we go. Pretty simple and straightforward dinner tonight, but it should be delicious. Alright guys, there we go. Before I forget, this is one of the serves. The others have already gone out. So we've got homemade chips on the bottom, or wedges, our homemade salsa, and just a little bit of guac on there as well. So I only have a tiny little bit of all of that salsa that I made. It's gone down an absolute treat. A bunch of potatoes, and this will be really delicious. All right, end of day 7 guys, and we're still going pretty strong here. I am feeling really good, and I am happy about the results that I've received so far. I'm quite keen to see where we end up at the end of day 10. So if you haven't already, now would be a really good time to go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you'd like to stay up to date with everything that's happening at our place, but also hear my results in my next video. We'll have a wrap up. I'll obviously do days 8 through to 10, but we'll reveal all of the results and all of that sort of good stuff if that's what you're interested in. now would be a good time to go and hit that little subscribe button so you can be notified. Don't forget to tick that bell. And as always, if you have enjoyed today's video, if you could please give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate that. It lets me know the kind of content you guys are enjoying and what you'd like to see more of. I do hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic week, and I do hope to catch up with you in my next video where we go over the last couple of days, but also how I'm feeling at the end of eating potatoes and veggies for 10 days. So until then, take care, my friends, and we'll chat soon. Bye.